All right. All right. Welcome. Welcome, y'all, to episode 3, the Duval County Rams fan podcast. Training camp edition. It's finally here. It's finally here, y'all. The beginning of the 2022 NFL season is here. And isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? That means our boys are now in camp and they are preparing themselves for the 2022 season and getting ready to defend that title of theirs. It's 2021 was fun. There was a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Ultimately, they completed their mission, won the Super Bowl, and we are going to have that forever. We're going to have that memory for as long as we live, and that we are always going to have that in our back pocket. The Rams accomplished their mission and are world champions now in the year 2021. Now, however, it is time for us to turn the page, and the Rams already know this, kind of get the head out of the clouds now. Vacation's over. Now it's time to focus on our title defense, on how we are going to defend this title, because believe you me, everyone's going to be coming for us. It comes with the territory of being a world champion. Everyone wants to measure themselves by seeing how they do against you, the champion. And as I'm sure a lot of you may know, there are a lot of people outside of this fan base, in the NFL, other fan bases, NFL, coaches, executives, players, who, they don't have the best opinion on the Rams. You know that? They don't. And honestly, it just, I think a lot of it is sour grapes. I believe a lot of it comes from a position of, they look at them, they had all these star players. They got all these big star players. That's why they won. And, this, that, and the other. That's why they won. They had to buy their championship or something like that. And to that, when I hear people talk like that, I immediately think, so you're just salty. Okay, that's just all the salt. It's just, in my opinion, we are going to be seeing a lot of salt and passive aggressive comments this upcoming season. It is my prediction. That little comments will be thrown our way here and there, little jabs about how, oh man, the Rams, how dare they go against the grain? How dare they try to better their team and load their team up with the best players available on the market? How dare they do that? How dare they try to make their team the best team they could possibly be, year in and year out? How dare they try to win football games and try to give a quality product to their fan base? How dare they? How very dare they do this? But I digress. People will be salty. People will come for us. So we need to be focused on the task at hand. And I know Sean will be able to deliver. I know he will. I know Matthew will deliver. I know Aaron Donald will deliver. I know Cam Akers will deliver. I know Ashawn Robinson will deliver. All these boys will deliver. Okay? They will deliver. I have the faith. They got a good culture going on. We're in a very good spot as a fan base. Okay, our team is in a very good spot. One could argue that this is as good of a spot that the Rams have been in since the greatest show on turf, and an argument can be made. Dare I say it, that we may be in a better position than that team back then. Everything's running on all cylinders right now, guys. We don't have the drama with the front office and the coaching staff and the quarterback. Not to get too much into that. Perhaps I'll do that at a later time, but everything just seems to be running on all cylinders. Everyone's getting along. We're just walking on sunshine right now. It's all sunshines and roses. It's all, oh my goodness, ain't life so good? We got our rings, we got our trophies, we got Sean on like a water jet, flying water jet or hoverboard. Excuse me, a hoverboard. You got Matthew and all the boys going to Laker games. They're on TV. I've never seen the Rams on TV this much. Never. I have never seen this much press of this team. It is really jarring. It is really jarring, but I'm loving every minute of it, and y'all should too. Okay? Enjoy the ride, because in my experience, how these things tend to go, being a fan of the NFL and the Rams in particular, following a team, as many of you may know, these things go in cycles. They go in cycles. The Rams were really good in '99, greatest show on turf. Then they dropped off a cliff, and they were pretty terrible for a long time. And that's the bad end of it. Now we're in the good end of it. We rose back up like a phoenix from the ashes, thanks to Sean and Les and all the boys. And now we are world champions and a heavy favorite to repeat again. Okay? These are the golden years, okay? Do not take these years for granted. Do not take these years for granted. Enjoy it, all right? Enjoy every game. Enjoy every practice. Enjoy all of it. Because in our lifetime, knock on wood, in our lifetime, odds are good the Rams will return back to either an average or below average football team at some point. Hopefully not for many, many decades, but it's just how it goes. It's always up and down. It's up and down. It's up and down. It's up and down. So while we're up, you have to enjoy it. So, what are we going to begin with first? Well, we're going to talk about our boy Jalen Ramsey and how the Rams have opted not to place Jalen on the PUP list for his shoulder. So let's go ahead and get into this. The LA Rams plan to be without Jalen Ramsey at the start of training camp after he underwent off-season shoulder surgery. But they've since pivoted. After initially expecting to place him on the list, they've decided not to go that route. Complete surprise to me, Sean McVay told reporters on Sunday that the doctors cleared Ramsey for limited activities, which allowed him to participate in walkthroughs and other quote-unquote above-the-neck drills. That's an encouraging sign for the all-pro cornerback as he prepares for the start of the season. It certainly is. So let's go ahead and see what our HC Sean has to say. He is quoted here. We ended up not putting Ramsey on the PUP list as a result of doctors clearing him in a limited fashion that enables him to participate in a lot of the jog-throughs, the above-the-neck stuff, and be able to have him out here with his teammates with all the different things that we ask of him. He felt good about that. We felt good about that. So I think that's what's best for our team. That's why we kind of pivoted in that direction. This is Sean. Sean McVay said this. So very encouraging. Very encouraging. It wasn't a situation where I felt like it was something serious. It was just Ramsey just had to get surgery done on his shoulders, and after as surgeries go, you gotta have time to heal. And it's looking like he is closer to 100% than we initially thought. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. The Rams did place 3 other players on the list. Yep. Quentin Lake, Warren Jackson, Kyrene Williams are all sidelined, unfortunately. Quentin Lake, our rookie out of UCLA, is dealing with a knee issue, McVay said, and Williams is still recovering from a broken foot he suffered in spring practices. That sucks. Trust me, I've had plenty of foot issues before. They are not fun. Williams is still a few weeks away from being a full participant, but the expectation is that he'll be ready for week 1, and the Rams are targeting their joint practices with the Bengals for Williams' return. Okay. So we're gonna run into the Bengals for some practices. Okay, I wonder how that's gonna go. I wonder how that will go. As I sip on my coffee here, I would imagine there might be 1 or 2 players on that Bengals team that might be a bit salty. But hey, I understand, Sean and Zach are friends, and I'm sure that whole joint practice will go off without a hitch. It'll be just sunshines, roses. Everyone's going to conduct themselves in a professional manner. There won't be any kind of bad blood, and it's just going to go smoothly. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. So, moving on. Here from Stu Jackson, Sean McVay said rookie running back Kyren Williams, with the broken foot, is quote-unquote a few weeks away from being able to return as a full-speed participant, but doesn't expect the injury impact. Williams doesn't expect the injury to impact Williams' availability for the regular season. McVay said the Bengals' practice is a realistic timetable to shoot for. Great news. Great news. Sean's very high on Kyren Williams. A lot of people have been very high on him. He what little I've seen from him, he is there's a lot to be excited for. He's I think they're primarily going to use him at least in the beginning as kind of a pass protector. He excelled in that in college, and I believe Sean will stick him right next to Matthew and kind of have him as like the last line of defense in probably these shotgun sets or empty sets that they like to run. Anyway. Okay. So that's it for there. We got a few rookies, Lake is dealing with a knee issue, unfortunately. I saw where McVay was saying how they were just trying to be extra careful with him. Williams looks like he's going to make it before the start of the season, and Jalen looks like he's going to make it to the start of the season as well, though we already kind of knew Jalen was going to make it to week 1, but it's good to see that he's on the field getting mental reps and helping some of these younger players. Players like the Kobe Durant and Durion Kendrick, they could use your help, Jalen. So, got to get them up to speed. We got to get them. Move on to the next story here. Our QB1 Matthew Stafford has resumed throwing at training camp and will be on a pitch count. This is good news. Matthew is vital to this team's success, and it was something curious. I understand he had a bit of an elbow issue that seemed to bother him a bit more than I think a lot of people realized, and he went himself and got, I believe it was, it didn't go into specifics, but I believe it was probably like some sort of oh God, the name's escaping me. Like a cortisone shot. I don't know that for sure. Cortisone shot. Lord, I couldn't remember the name. That usually helps with swelling. I do not know that for a fact, but it's just, from what I remember, they were saying how he was just having issues with it and it was swollen. But the question was, he didn't throw in OTAs. So we're like, okay, well, he doesn't really need to, but if training camp comes around and he's not throwing then we might have a bit of an issue on our hands. But It would appear that he's on a pitch count, according to this article. So let's go ahead and, without further ado, get into it. There's our boy Matthew right here. What's up, Matthew? Matthew was on the field for OTAs and minicamp, but he did not do any throwing. That's because he got an injection into his right elbow in the offseason, causing the Rams to play it safe with their quarterback. Yeah, they just call it an injection. It's just my guess. I don't know this for sure, but it's just my guess that it was, in fact, a cortisone shot, is my opinion on it. That's what it sounds like. The plan was for him to be ready for training camp, but I could be wrong on that, just to let y'all know. The plan was for him to be ready for training camp, and so far he's right on track. He was throwing the first day of camp, getting in some work with his receivers, particularly Allen Robinson. Very exciting. He told the reporters, this is Matthew Stafford quoted here. He's quoted, "Definitely knocking some rust off and feeling it again, seeing how and feeling it again," end quote. Sorry about that. Seeing how his elbow reacts to a throwing session after missing spring workouts. It's okay. So Matthew says he's knocking off some rust and he's trying to feel it again. You know, it's Matthew's been partying. I mean, like just like I hope all the other boys have been doing. They've been partying this offseason. They won the championship, and you know they've been doing their getting their drink on. You know, going to Laker games. You know, going on parades. You know, just having a good old time this offseason. You know, just on top of the world, just doing whatever the hell they want. And now it's time to get back to work. So naturally, there will be some rust that needs to be knocked off. And there's if you look to where my mouse is at, y'all, there's the ring, world champions, LA 23, Cincinnati 20. Look at that. Beautiful ring. Thing is massive. You can knock somebody out with that. But moving on. Sean McVay said he will be on a pitch count, Stafford is, during training camp, but the elbow didn't restrict him from doing anything on the first day. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. All right, so we're quoted here. This is Stafford. This is what Stafford said. It's an interesting thing, trying to have a little bit of governor on there, and at the same time, just try to and be as smart as I can. It's a process, end quote. And he continues, going to have to sit there, work through it, trust it, and we'll figure it out as we go. Okay. So it seems like he's still kind of dealing with it. You know, it's just the way he's speaking here. I get this sense that he still has kind of an issue with it. And it's ironic enough because I've had elbow injuries before, like tennis elbow and stuff. I'm actually nursing one right now, and they do tend to linger. They really do. Even the most minor kind of injury on the elbow. If any of y'all have ever had some sort of tweak or pulled like a muscle on the elbow, it's not like the worst injury, but it is annoying because it's like it really takes a long time to heal, and it just can be a pain in the neck when you're trying to be mobile, like when you're trying to grab things, and like sometimes you'll move your arm a little too quickly, even if it's almost better, and you can still kind of move your arm up and down, like you're curling like a dumbbell weight or something. And sometimes it'll just kind of, you'll feel that twinge, all right? You'll feel kind of a twinge, and then you'll drop something, you know? But it's just, it tends to linger. And I would imagine Matthew got beat up a lot in his first year, and he did have a bit of an elbow issue. I remember this, like in the latter half of the year, which caused him to maybe not have as much power behind his throws, and it was a bit concerning, during the last part of the season if he was going to be able to make the deep throws to get the opposing defenses to back off. That's very important because you see, if the defense do not fear the deep pass game, they're just going to crowd the line, and it is considerably harder to move the ball downfield if they do this. This was a problem for us very recently with Jared Goff, all right? And it wasn't a situation where Jared was necessarily injured. He just couldn't throw it deep or didn't want to for whatever reason. So as a result, defenses knew we were not going deep, so they crowded the line and made life difficult for us. And they kind of started to do that at the end of the season, if y'all noticed, but Matthew, being an absolute Chad, all right, being an alpha male, was able to work around it and through the pain and be able to deliver it when it mattered most, and was able to overcome these defenses, all right? But my point, going back, like, if it's still bothering him, it is something to keep our eye on, because it's a long season. It is a long season. So if he's still having issues now in camp, we're gonna have to possibly go into games with Stafford on a pitch count for the games, because the season's only a few months away, and this is a perfect opportunity for us to kind of get back into our balance attack and work on our running game. Help Matthew out. We can't rely on Matthew and Cooper Kupp to bail us out again like they did in the Super Bowl. This is an opportunity to work on our ground game. It will give Matthew time to rest. It will give him less reps, and he will, in fact, last longer through the season and be able to throw it deep in the playoffs for a potential title defense, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and keep going here. We're going to go ahead and look at some videos. All right, this is what I've been waiting for. Time for some footage, y'all. Time for some footage. We're going to go ahead and look at a few videos for the first day of camp. Stafford connected with Van Jefferson and Allen Robinson on 2 simple throws. So let's go ahead and check this out. Matthew Stafford throwing in all caps, let you know he's serious, to Allen Robinson. Let's go. All right. So here's Matthew. All right. This is Matthew right here. I think this is Van Jefferson. And in the number 1 jersey is Allen Robinson, this guy right here. All right. These are our O-line boys. So there's Van. Here's Matthew. Let's check this out. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Okay, screen. Okay, so they're administering the screen here. Okay. Very good, very good. And let me tell you something, y'all. The screen game is a good substitute for the rushing attack, ideally. Okay, ideally. It's supposed to, it technically counts as a pass play, but it's a way kind of to get kind of the rush yards without actually getting in a formation and handing it off to the running back. Say if we're struggling with running the ball, which we, towards the end of the year, we kind of were. This is a way to kind of soften up the defense, get these behemoths on the defensive line. All right, you agitate them a little bit, and you want them to cut. You want them to barrel forward. You want them to blitz. You want them to rush as hard as they possibly can. All right, and then you use that aggression against them, and you hit them with the screen and kind of undercut and just run right past them for a decent amount of yardage. It's a good way to pick up like a good 10, 12 yards, get a first down on a simple throw and catch. However, if the defenses are mentally aware, and the better defenses will be able to do this, they can sniff out the screen and cause a big loss, and we'll be in an even worse position. So, kind of a crapshoot. But let's go ahead and watch this again. Ooh, look at that. Okay. 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 I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So far, so good. Not bad for the first time in camp. Very smart to keep things simple. Whoa, okay. Was that not what I was watching? All right, I'm spazzing out a little bit, y'all. Where was the... I guess it just went ahead and went to the next video. All right, then. But yeah, keeping it simple. You know, it's the first day back in camp. You don't want to do all these kind of complicated schemes on the first day. You want to get everybody back on page because everyone's been partying. All right? Everyone's been partying for the past like 6 months, you know, because they're Super Bowl champions. So you want to integrate them back slowly, which is very, very wise. Very wise by Sean. So, I guess that video just went away. I guess I'm just crazy, y'all. That Allen Robinson play, because this is the Van Jefferson play here. So, all right, let's look at the Van Jefferson play. I must just be going crazy. All right, here we go. Check this out. There's Van Jefferson, number 12. Up. Oh, look at that. That was a rollout. See? And look. Okay. See this right here? See, I like what I'm seeing. This is telling me this is a rollout, if I'm not mistaken. Let's watch it again. So here's the defense. Where's Matthew? There he is, the red shirt. And he's rolling out, all right? And you got Cooper Kupp here kind of in the check down. You got Tyler Higbee. He rolls out, throws the ball. Van comes up in clutch and scores the touchdown. Way to go, Van. Nice play. Nice play. One thing to take away from this is the fact that the rollout is another substitute for covering up the run game, getting yards, short yardage. All right, which is very wise because it would behoove the Rams to upgrade the running game, get the running game going. We really, 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 really need that. And if y'all have been listening to me for a long time, you know I harp on physicality, all right? We have to be physical. I don't just say it for my health, okay? Football is a physical sport. You could have all these razzle-dazzle, exotic schemes, you know, these high-flying, misdirection plays. But, dude, at the end of the day, you have to be able to impose your will on the opposing team on offense and defense. And to the Rams' credit, they did just that in the latter half of the season last year. And I do believe that will carry over to 2022 season. Okay, I'm not saying that it won't. I believe that it will. However, unfortunately, our run game suffered in the playoffs, all right? And they're going to need to get better at that. And what I'm seeing here, okay, we saw the screen with Allen Robinson, okay, just a few minutes ago. And now we saw the rollout with Van Jefferson here. That tells me these plays are substitutes, all right? They're substitutes for a faltering run game. If our run game falters in real time, in real game time action, which is wise to have. Okay? It is wise to have that because we're going to need these short, quick yardage to pick up, kind of soften up the defense, kind of get them, kind of back them up, kind of back them off the line a little bit, get them a little confused, and then you kind of mix in the physicality. It's a chess match. You got to mix in the misdirection to kind of get the defense on their heels, and when they're confused, you hand it off, and bam, you hit them in the mouth when they're confused. All right, this is how it goes. This is how the pros do it. You gotta be like a master chess player, and Sean is that, and I believe he's getting better. And you need plays like this, the substitute plays, and it's a good thing to kind of run on the first day of camp. It's simple, get everyone's feet wet. It's good to go. Let's watch it one more time. Bam. Nice. 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 Oh, Lord. There's no concern about Stafford's availability for week 1, which is the most important thing. He won't play in the preseason anyway, so it's not as if the elbow injection will prevent him from participating in those games. And I do not doubt that. I am sure Matthew will play. He's a tough person. He is someone who does not like to be taken off the field. So that is a good thing for us, but we need him as close to 100% as possible when the playoffs roll around. That is, of course, assuming that we will make the playoffs, Lord willing. But I think we will, all right? So, okay. Okay. Okay, pitch count it is. Pitch count it is. And on that note, it would appear that some of the coaches and executives believe Matthew Stafford is a second-tier quarterback. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this. It's always interesting to see how NFL coaches and executives view certain quarterbacks around the league. Mike Sandow did an annual article where he polls coaches and executives to the NFL to put quarterbacks in the league in specific tiers. And they said Matthew Stafford landed on the second tier. Although there are 50 executives and coaches that are asked to rank the quarterbacks in the NFL, Stafford received 18 first-tier votes, but ended up being the highest-ranked quarterback in Tier 2 following his first year with the Rams. Okay? Well, I believe Matthew is a first-tier quarterback, so okay, don't necessarily agree with that. The 6 quarterbacks that made it into Tier 1 over Stafford. Yeah, let's go ahead and listen to who they had over Matthew here. They had Aaron Rodgers. Okay. Patrick Mahomes. I think the dude is faltering a little bit, but okay. Tom Brady. You know, he don't have his footballs or his walkthrough, his filmed walkthroughs to help him out, but okay. Josh Allen. All right. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Okay. Joe Burrow is definitely pretty good. Justin Herbert, I feel like Matthew could have taken Justin Herbert's spot, to be honest with you. I just don't. I know he's good, but I mean, did they even make the playoffs last year? I can't remember if the Chargers even made the playoffs. I mean, y'all need to stop playing, dude. Like, honestly, Matthew won the Super Bowl last year. And I don't look at these things, these executives and coaches voting who's the best players or the best or the players chiming in who they think is the. I don't really concern myself with that. I just feel like it's just people having their opinions. I think some people may be influenced by having some sour grapes with Matthew's success. But I don't put a whole lot of stock into it. I don't think people should put a whole lot of stock into these rankings. I understand that it's the offseason, you got to have something to talk about. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't put a lot of stock into that or power rankings. I really don't care because it doesn't matter. It'll change once the season starts. This was last year's squad. This year is going to be completely different. That's just me though. But I just feel like the quarterback who won the Super Bowl the previous year, who had a no-look pass in said Super Bowl to help drive his team down the field to take the lead and win said Super Bowl, I just kind of feel like he should be in the top 5. That's just me. At least before the season starts. We could start 2022 and Matthew could be just falling off a cliff. Knock on wood, he doesn't. And if he does, obviously he would become lower. But sitting as of right now, like the dude who threw a no-look pass and won the Super Bowl on the final drive when we were down in points, you put Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow ahead of him. Come on, dude, come on, y'all. I do not agree with that at all. But hey, what the hell do I know, right? All right, we're going to go ahead and get into a quote here. An offensive coach, an anonymous offensive coach, said, "I think it's fascinating. The whole thing with Stafford, you just felt like here is a guy with all the talent in the world, and you get him into a situation with a good staff, a good team, and there was some consistency there. I certainly was not surprised with how he performed. Anytime the head coach is the play caller and you get some chemistry and are on the same page, that's a huge, huge advantage." Yeah, I would agree. There was also, and you have Matthew also uh, coming up with, bailing the team out on the fly as well when like things were breaking down around him too. So there's that. There was also an executive or coach that used to work with Stafford, who I assume gave the veteran quarterback a vote for tier 1, according to this author here, that believes he has the best arm in the league. And here's another quote. "He still to this day has the best arm I've been around or seen," a voter who was with Stafford in Detroit said. "Whether it's with a system that suits him and a good partnership with the head coach and all that, a Super Bowl ring gets you an upgrade in my book." And that's exactly it. The dude won the Super Bowl. All right, last year. He's the Super Bowl champion this year. Okay, you put the championship quarterback who won the Super Bowl in the final drive, okay? That the final drive for the Rams took him all the way down with 5 minutes left, won the game. Okay? Aaron Rodgers didn't do that. Patrick Mahomes didn't do that. Brady didn't do that. Justin Herbert didn't do that. Burrow, as we all know, tried to but could not do it. It's just Stafford's top 5, so all these people need to stop with their sour grapes and put Stafford up in that echelon. But despite having to experience multiple losing seasons during his time with Detroit, it appears that Stafford is finally getting more respect around the NFL due to helping lead the Rams to a Super Bowl victory. Yes, sir. That is correct. So, all right. Ultimately, like I said, these like first tier, second tier quarterback coaches, players, I don't really care at all. I really don't. But it's because it doesn't really it's the opinions of coaches and players, and I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of these guys can be really passive aggressive sometimes. And I just don't put a whole lot of stock into what they say sometimes. And it's just, it's whatever. Matthew's getting some respect. He deserves the respect from his peers. And I just believe he's a first-tier quarterback. That's just me. He's the Super Bowl champion. This guy right here. He has the ring. All right? He is the Super Bowl champion right now. So that's first tier in my book. So let's go ahead and talk about Coleman Shelton, who will apparently be competing for the starting right guard spot in training camp. Now this is a bit interesting. Let's go ahead and get into it. There's Coleman. One of the notable losses for the Rams this offseason was Austin Corbett, who signed with the Panthers. And since he's no longer in the picture, we had an open spot at right guard during training camp. On the first day of training camp practices, ESPN's Sarah Barshop revealed that Shelton was seen starting at center and right guard. Interesting. Indicating he's the front runner to replace Corbett. Interesting. Coleman Shelton started at right guard and center during practice. McVay said Shelton is competing to start at right guard. And this is Sean quoted right here. We're really going to open it up and try to see what it looks like to find who's going to be that fifth player playing with the other four guys that are kind of established. Okay. Following the departure of Corbett, the Rams selected Logan Bruss in the third round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Pick I'm very, very, very excited about. Bruss was expected to compete with Tremian Ankrum and Bobby Evans for the starting spot at right guard. I would agree. However, Shelton has emerged as a candidate due to his experience in the offense. Shelton has been with the Rams since 2019, and he started 2 games a season ago in place of Brian Allen when Allen was sidelined with injuries. Yes, I remember that, and he played quite well in those games at the center position. Due to his versatility in the interior, McVay likely wants to see what Shelton can do with a full-time role in the offense. Rookie offensive linemen have a tough time starting since Sean McVay arrived, so it's not a surprise to see Bruss isn't the starter to begin training camp. I would agree. There's no reason to put him right at the starting position spot right now. You have to make him earn it. Moving on, we already know that Joseph Nobu, David Edwards, Allen, and Rob Havenstein will be four of the starting offensive linemen in Week 1 versus the Bills. And it's a good group. I have faith in this group. I do. While the competition at right guard will be decided in the coming weeks, Shelton appears to be the current favorite to line up alongside Havenstein on the right side. So, my thoughts. Coleman Shelton is certainly it's not so much a matter if I feel like Coleman is good enough to play the right guard spot. I believe that he is, and I do. If you're just gonna tell me experience-wise, talent-wise, who's the best spot to fill that voided spot at right guard for this season, it would be Coleman Shelton. However, the thing about it is the offensive line, like the center position, is a very, very important position on a football team. All right, he's the guy who has to have a good communication with the quarterback. He's always giving the quarterback the football on every play. You need to have a good rapport and relationship between the center and the quarterback. Now, Brian has proven to be has proven to be to hold has proven to hold down the center position and played very very well, proving a lot of people like myself wrong that he could play the spot. Now, having said that, Coleman Shelton played very very well at the center position last year when Brian Allen was injured. Okay, now stick with me. I think that in fact there was some rumblings, and I even considered would Coleman actually be a better option at the center position. I to this day I still really am not quite sure, but the point being he is very good at playing the center position. And I just feel like it's you really need a good viable backup to be inserted in case something happens to Brian, who is penciled in as the starter. And if Brian goes down, you really need someone who knows how to play the center position and who has proven to play the center position well to go in, in the middle of a game, just in case something happens. Coleman has proven he can do that. You put Coleman in the right guard spot, the starting position. I'm not trying to. I don't want to add any voodoo, any black magic or anything like that. But knock on table, hey, knock on table, nothing happens to him. But if he's starting at the right guard spot, he's more susceptible to injury. And you could have a situation where Brian Allen could get injured and maybe Coleman Shelton could both be out for a game, and then we might be SOL for the center position, all right? Now, would I be upset if he won the right guard spot? No. I like Coleman Shelton. I think it would be both. He has not shown to be injury prone, but it's just something to consider when you're kind of building your lineup. And I still believe that if Logan Bruss excels at training camp, he will be the starter at right guard. I still believe that. I think this is the right move. You don't necessarily want your rookie penciled in as the starter right away. He has to earn that spot. Okay? He has to grind and put in the time and the work. And he has to be able to learn the schemes, the plays. When you're playing the offensive line, you have to be able to not only know your assignment, but you got to know your fellow linemen's assignments, and you got to be able to move with them. It's got to be cohesive. You got to move as one, like the Spartans. You know what I mean? So, kind of difficult to do for a rookie because he's never worked. Logan Bruss has never worked with this offensive line. He hasn't worked with David Edwards. He hasn't worked with Brian Allen. He hasn't worked with Joseph Nopum yet. So it would make sense that if Logan Bruss has a bit of a learning curve and needs some time to develop, Coleman Shelton could more than certainly fit in. And I would agree with that decision if that is the reason why they need to pencil him in. I do believe Logan Bruss will take over the starting right guard position at some point. I would like to see it for week 1, but depending upon how he performs in training camp and in the preseason, will determine if he is able to do so. So that leaves us in a position where it is wait and see. All right. All right, moving on. So, Sean McVay. Rams could be better in 2022 and still not win a Super Bowl. I agree with this. So let's go ahead and get into it. Throughout the regular season in 2021, the LA Rams were considered a really good team. They had a few stumbles along the way, but still finished 12-5 and won the NFC West. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They became a great team in the playoffs and they ripped off 4 straight wins, including Super Bowl 56. 4 incredibly stressful and intense football games. Yes. Never been so stressed watching football games before. That shit was crazy. But continuing on. There are undoubtedly areas of improvement as they attempt to defend their title, but getting better this season may not mean the same results as last year. After arriving for training camp on Friday, Sean McVay made it clear that even if the Rams are a better team this year, they might not win the Super Bowl. So, let's go ahead and see what Sean has to say here. This is Sean McVay quoted, "So many things have to go right." I agree. We could be a better team this year, and I think we've got a chance to do that. And it might not mean we win a Super Bowl because there are a lot of things that take place throughout the course of a game, the bounce of a ball here, certain things that are out of your control. And he is not wrong. The Rams could run the table in the regular season and have one bad game in the playoffs, thus ending their season. And it all comes down to winning those 3 or 4 games in the postseason when it matters most. So he's correct here. You know, football, it's just a lot of times, sometimes you just got to be lucky. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to, Lady Luck just has to be on your side. You know, and it is possible that the Rams could be a better team in 2022. And if you know me, I don't like to look too far ahead into a season. I like to enjoy the moment. So in this case, it would be training camp, first day of training camp. But they could arguably be better, and they arguably are better with the additions in certain areas, like our linebacker core is now a strength when it was not so last season. We added another number 1 receiver who is apparently performing very, very well in Allen Robinson. They're even comparing him to Cooper Kupp in terms of his versatility. I think the offensive line is a lot more secure. We have the running game needs to be improved upon, but we have a healthy Cam Akers coming back, off of that ACL injury. We got Kyren Williams, who's going to be back soon. We got the defense, Aaron Donald, Ashawn Robinson, Greg Gaines with another year under their belt, Jalen and DBs. We got some young DBs. But they're promising, and they seem like they're going to work out very, very well. And it's just from looking at the roster up and down, I think we got better. I really do. I really think up and down this roster is a lot better than last year. And this is the number one thing. Sean, I think, is better. That's the most important thing as a coach, because Sean, if you go back and watch my earlier videos, I was screaming and I was very frustrated with Sean because he seemed to really lean into passing heavy. He's the play caller and he's the offensive genius. He's the head coach, obviously, but his expertise is generally with the offense. It's just what it is. And so he calls the plays, and a lot of times it really showed that he was very much into the pass. He wanted to pass the ball as much as he could and only use the run game as like pepper in the run game here or there. That's not sustainable. And I knew that wasn't sustainable. And a lot of Rams fans knew that was not sustainable. And that was going to cost us in the playoffs if we did not choose to be more balanced. Okay, then we remember, but Sean just didn't seem to get it. It just did not seem like it was clicking for him. But when November came around, y'all remember how it is. Fans were upset. Sean was upset. Everyone was upset. We were losing. Okay, it wasn't a good point in the season. And if y'all remember, after that bye week when we came and whooped up on the Jacksonville Jaguars, man, oh man, thank you Jacksonville. But when we whooped on the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's clear that Sean made an adjustment. Okay, he made an adjustment to be more balanced. Guys, I cannot stress to you how important that is. Okay, Sean made the adjustments. We ran a lot more heavy sets. We had, we usually love to run the 11 personnel. Well, we were running 12 personnel. We were running 13 personnel. We had an extra offensive lineman on the line to help with a line that was kind of struggling at that point. We added Joseph Noboom to help out. We added that extra body to be more physical. That's what we were lacking in the middle of the season last year. But Sean, to his credit, recognized that. He recognized how we needed to add that little bit of balance. We didn't need to turn into a power run team. We didn't need to do that. I was never saying we needed to do. The fans were never saying you needed to do that. But the defenses could see that you wanted to throw the ball on every down. And so they were crowding the line. They weren't scared of the run game. So that was more or less, it wasn't the only thing, but it's why we struggled so much at that point in the season. But Sean made the adjustment. Okay, Sony Michel was kind of our power back. He gave him 20, 25 touches a game from then on out. It made things more balanced. And what happened? We went on a big win streak. Okay, we were feeling good. Everyone was getting their swagger back. All right, we made the playoffs. We went on a bit of a win streak. I think San Francisco broke that win streak, but we applied that, took it into the playoffs, and applied that balance attack, kept Matthew from having to throw the ball on every down. We won the Super Bowl. Had Sean not made that adjustment to his coaching, to his philosophy and his strategy while calling football games, I do not believe we win the Super Bowl last year. Okay? I cannot stress this enough. The biggest factor is going to be Sean, okay? And if Sean can carry over what he has learned from last year as a play caller, we are going to be in a very good position. A very good position to be stronger than last year and possibly defend this title. But I don't want to look too far ahead. I do not like doing that. I do not like it. I like to enjoy the moment. And Sean, if you're listening to this, I have all the faith in the world that you will do this. Just keep yourself steady when things go crazy. And remember, you need to be center and you need to have a balanced attack. You need to have that mix of physicality and deception and execution. You got to have all those. You figured it out midpoint in the season, and it ended with a Super Bowl victory. I believe that if you continue to build on that and continue to be more balanced, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit once again. So, that is going to do it for this episode, y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for any of you guys who have stuck around as long as you did. I believe this is going to be a very fun season. It's got the Rams will give us a chance to watch some football games. Be around friends, family, and hopefully they can give us a good quality product for us to enjoy on the field. And I believe that they will. So that's going to be it for now, guys. I will catch you guys on the next one. And as always, 2022 season is now here. It's training camp is here. Training camp is here. Let's get it. Go Rams.